Hello friends, today we are going to discuss this term supply and schedule 1 of the CGST Act. In the last video we have also discussed the same, that is the term supply as per section 7 as well as the schedule 1. Today we are going to continue the same discussion for the term supply as well as the schedule 1 with the help of a certain example and detailed analytical procedure. So let us start with discussion. The term supply will include the supply for a consideration and for the purpose or in the course of a business. So the supply, the consideration is must as well as the business is must as per section 7 subsection 1 clause A. Next one is the import of services plus consideration. Here the business is not required. Import of services plus consideration as per section 7 subsection 1 clause B. Import of services for a consideration will be considered as a supply. Next one is the supply without consideration as per schedule 1 will be considered as a supply. So whatever is given in a schedule 1, even if such transactions are made without consideration, will be considered as a supply. Now the question may arise, supply will be treated for the supply of goods or a supply of services. So certain activity are determined in a schedule 2 that certain activity will be considered as a supply of goods or a supply of services as per a schedule 2 as per section 7 subsection 1A. Now the negative list is given in a schedule 3. Read with section 7 subsection 2. So supply exclude whatever is given in a section 7 subsection 2 plus schedule 3. So supply will exclude whatever is given in a schedule 3. Now we will discuss detail section 7 subsection 1 clause A. Supply include sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease as well as the disposal. So the meaning of the said term, that is sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, etc. are not given in the GST Act. So what is the meaning of the sale? So as per the sale of a goods act, the sale is the transaction whereby the seller agrees to transfer the goods to the buyer for a certain agreed price. So here the price is the consideration. Further, the seller is transferring goods to the buyer. So this kind of transaction is considered as a sale, and the sale is included in the term supply. What is the meaning of a transfer? So transfer is nothing but a handing over the possession or a control from one person to another person or from one place to another place. Now another term is exchange. Suppose if you are buying a new computer of rupees 50,000 in exchange of the old computer plus cash consideration of a 30,000. Here you are paying only 30,000 plus you are giving your old computer system. So here the cost of a new computer is 50,000. So 20,000 is considered as a consideration in terms of an old computer system. So the cost of a new computer system is 50,000. Such transaction of an exchange is also covered in the term supply. Now next one is the barter. Barter is a transaction where money is not involved. Here the exchange of a goods or a services is made in lieu of the other goods or a services. Same for example, a chartered accountant is providing a service to the Mr. A engineer in lieu of the CA services. Mr. A also prepared a design for a CA. So here the consideration for a CA is in the form of a services provided by the engineer, and the consideration for an engineer is in the form of a services provided by the CA. So this will be considered as a supply. Now next one is the what is the meaning of a license. So license is any permission granted by the competent authority to do the business, to enter into the transaction at extra. So lease is just like a rental transaction. Same for example, a long-term lease for a property or a plant and machinery by way the monetary consideration is paid to the lessor by the lessee over a period of a time under the agreement, and in lieu of such payment, lessee is entitled to use such assets such like a building, plant and machinery, vehicle at extra. So this type of a lease transaction is covered under the GST. Next one is the rent. To give any asset on a rent, such transactions are also covered in the part supply. The term business as defined in section 2 subsection 17 we have already discussed in our previous video. Please watch that video for the detailed analysis of a term business with the help of a certain example. Now next item is consideration. Consideration is defined in section 2 subsection 31. The term consideration is also discussed in our previous video separately with the help of a certain example. You can watch such video. Now for the purpose of a taxability, there must be a three conditions to be fulfilled. There should be a supply. The supply shall be made by the taxable person and the said supply shall be the taxable supply. So for the purpose of taxability under GST, there must be a supply. Supply shall be made by the taxable person and the supply shall be a taxable supply. So any supply made between the two non-taxable person does not constitute this supply under the GST. Now the question may arise, who is considered as a taxable person? A person who is registered under the GST Act or a person who is liable to be registered under the GST Act as per section 22 or 24 of the GST Act is considered as a taxable person. So the person who is taking a voluntary registration, even though he is not liable, but if he had taken the GST registration, then he is considered as a taxable person. On the reverse side, if any person is liable to take a GST registration, but he is not taking the GST registration, then he can also be considered as a taxable person. So here, the unregistered person liable to take a GST registration is considered as a taxable person. The person not liable for a GST registration but had taken voluntary GST registration, then he is considered as a taxable person. Now we will discuss the section 7 subsection 1 clause B. Here the import of a service plus consideration is equal to supply. So here the business is not required. Example, Mr. X receive a service from an engineer located at UK for rupees 50,000 consideration for his own house. Here the import is considered as a supply because import of a service is from a UK. Here the consideration in the term of a rupees 50,000. So import of services plus consideration. So the condition of a section 7 subsection 1 clause B is fulfilled. So this transaction is considered as a supply. Now we will discuss some of the part of a schedule 1. The first entry of a schedule 1 says that permanent transfer of a business asset or a permanent disposal of a business asset on which the ITC has been availed, such transaction will be considered as a supply. Now the question may arise that under section 17 subsection 5 there shall be a certain block credit. Same for example, immovable property or a motor vehicle at extra. If you had purchased some motor vehicle or a immovable property and you are transferring such business asset permanently to another person, then on such asset as the ITC is blocked under section 17 subsection 5, ITC you cannot avail as per the GST law on such asset, then such type of a transaction are not covered under the schedule 1. So transfer of such asset for which ITC is not available or ITC is not available or ITC is blocked under section 17 subsection 5 will not be covered by schedule 1. So the transfer of asset or a disposal shall be permanent. Further the ITC shall be availed on such asset and further the such transfer is for the purpose of a business asset. So now the example, suppose Mr. A, a registered taxable person, transfer his motor car to his friend permanently. Here the schedule 1 is not applicable because the ITC of a car is not available as per section 17 subsection 5. This is the block ITC. Next example, if a Mr. A transfer a machinery to his friend to free of cost on which ITC is taken by Mr. A, then such transaction will be considered as a supply as per a schedule 1. Now next transaction is the next item under the schedule 1 is supply between a related person or a distinct person without consideration. So supply plus related person plus or a distinct person plus business will be considered as a supply even if it is without consideration. Now what is the meaning of a related person? So the term related person is defined under section 15. The person will be treated as a related person if such person are an officer or a director of a one another's business. Such person are a legally recognized partner, or such person are an employer or an employee, or any person is holding greater than 25% voting right in both of them, or one of the person is controlling another person, or a third person is controlling both of them, or such person together controlling the third person, or such members are a part of the same family, or one of them are the sole agent or a sole distributor. Now we will discuss the term related person with the help of an example. Suppose Mr. A is holding 30% share in A Limited and a 35% share in a B Limited. So here A and B Limited will be considered as a related person because a third person controlling or holding greater than 25% voting right in a both of them. Next one is the all the major business decision of M Limited is taken by N Limited. Here the N Limited is controlling the M Limited. So the both the company will be considered as the related person. Now the question may arise, what is the meaning of a distinct person? Distinct person means in a simple understanding term, same PAN plus multiple GST number. If the person having a same PAN plus a multiple GST number, then a different GST number shall be considered as a different distinct person. Suppose Mr. A having a Gujarat GST registration plus same person having a UP GST registration, then the Gujarat GST plus UP GST both will be considered as a distinct separate person. Now another term may arise, establishment of a distinct person. What is the meaning of an establishment of a distinct person and whether it is considered as a supply or a not as per the schedule 1. Let us understand with the help of one example. Suppose Mr. A is a registered in a Gujarat, open a shop for alcoholic liquor for a human consumption in a UP. You know that alcoholic liquor for a human consumption is not covered or taxable under GST. Therefore, in UP, Mr. A had not taken a GST registration. Here, the Gujarat HO is transferring certain material or making a supply to the shop in a UP for a free of cost. Then this will be considered as a supply of a as per schedule 1 because it is a transfer made by the distinct person to the establishment of a distinct person. So it is considered as a transfer, and such transaction is considered between the distinct person and establishment of a distinct person. Now whether the stock transfer will be considered as a supply or a not. Now we will understand with the help of an example. Suppose A Limited having a branch at a Gujarat and a Haryana. If A Limited Gujarat transferring stock to the A Limited Haryana, then this transaction will be considered as a supply. This is considered as a deemed supply. Suppose A Limited having a branch at Ahmedabad and having a branch at Surat. Suppose Ahmedabad branch transferring the goods to the Surat branch, then this will be considered as a supply only if the both branch is having a separate GST number. However, if the both branch is not having a separate GST number, then it will be not considered as a supply. So, for the purpose of an intrastate transaction of a stock transfer, the transfer will be considered as a supply only if the separate GST number is taken. However, for the purpose of an interstate transaction, the stock transfer is considered as a supply. Remember that for the purpose of an intrastate transaction of a stock transfer, such stock transfer is considered only supply only if the separate GST number is taken. If a separate GST number is not taken, then the branch transfer from one branch to another branch within the same state will not consider it as a supply. for the purpose of interstate stock transfer, such stock transfer will be considered as a deemed supply. Now, another part is supply of goods or services or both between an employer and an employee. As per section 15, we have understood that employer and employee are considered as a related person. However, the transaction between services, that is service transaction between employee and employer in lieu of their employment contract, will not be considered as a supply as per Schedule 3 of the CGST Act. Further, there is a proviso in a Schedule 1 that gift up to rupees 50,000 in a value per financial year by employer to the employee shall not be treated as a supply. So, gift up to 50,000 per financial year by employer to the employee will not be treated as a supply. Now, the services by employer to the employee will not be considered as a part of a supply. It is outside the purview of a supply as per the Schedule 3 of the CGST Act if it is in relation to the employment. Further, if any payment is made by employer to the employee in terms of the agreement between employer and employee as per the employment term, then such transactions are outside the purview of a GST. If employee is providing certain services like a membership of a club, health, fitness center, etc. free of charge to all of these employees, then such transactions are also outside the purview of a GST. Further, one of the clarification from the CBIC that free housing to the employees where same is provided in terms of a contract between employer and employee and it is a part of a cost to the company, then it will not be considered as the supply. So this was the discussion for this term supply as well as the Schedule 1 or certain transaction of a Schedule 1 is not covered. Same for the example, the import transaction as well as the agent and a principal transaction we will discuss in our next video. Thank you.